Hey guys, today we are going to make mini gingerbread houses that are small, easy for kids to decorate. As you can see, this is not gingerbread. These are graham crackers, but that's because moms with young kids need something that's already set up for the kids to just decorate. Our gingerbread hack, which is graham crackers. As far as what you're going to need 3 full-size graham crackers. You can do cinnamon, you can do honey, you can do chocolate, whatever you feel like. I really like the chocolate graham crackers for Halloween, haunted gingerbread. And then I like honey graham crackers for like a Christmas house. Or if you buy them in the snack packs, 1 snack pack of graham crackers should give you 2 houses. So like I said, 3 full-size graham crackers. The glue is just melted sugar, so you're going to need some sort of white sugar. To have a base for the house, I'm using just a cracker box. You can use a cereal box, you can use cardboard, anything that you want to glue it to on the bottom. I also got some little Teddy Grahams. Maybe there's little mini gingerbread men crackers or cookies you can buy. And then in order to shape the front and back pieces into that triangle, I'm going to use a really fine cheese grater, but you can also use a serrated knife. It has like a bread knife type thing for sawing back and forth. Weapon of your choice. And then the last thing you're going to need is my guide. In the description, there will be a link that you can download this little template to help you assemble the pieces that you need. Alrighty, let's get started. The most important step is prep. Because the sugar work moves very quickly, you can burn it really fast if you're not careful. It dries really fast, which is a good thing for keeping the gingerbread in place, but can be a bad thing if you mess up. So we're going to prep everything, and then we'll do the sugar. So we need a front, a back, a side, and 2 roof pieces. So if you just break this in half, doop, you've got 2 roof pieces. Check, that's easy. Next, we're going to take the cracker and crack it again in half, doop, and again in half. Now you've got 2 wall pieces. Great. Then we're going to use this half of the cracker and another half, and we're going to shape these now. There's a long way, horizontal, and there's a vertical way. So when we're deciding how to cut this vertical front piece, we're going to use this as our guide. So we're going to hold the side as if it's the side like that. We're going to make a triangle shape here. So we're going to use this as our guide, and that will be the bottom. And then we're going to take as tall as we can get the house. So we're going to use the middle of the cracker there, like that, so that we can shave to that line. And when we do that on both sides, so when you lay your cracker on the template, you just lay your cracker in there and it will show you the marks, how to draw that line. If you're going to use a knife, my suggestion is to use very light pressure. Just saw back and forth until you get it. And it'll take a long time, but you won't break your crackers. Or you can do it the easy way, which is the grater, and just shave it to the perfect size. So we're going to do that right now. So I hold it like that at an angle, and I just start shaving parallel to that line until I get to where I want it to go. Now, if you don't want to put Sharpie marker on the crackers because your kids are going to eat it, you don't have to. You can just use the little dots of the cracker to help you know where to go. If it was my choice, I would use hot glue and just get it glued so it doesn't move. I'm using sugar so that if the kids do start nibbling on it, they're not going to get hurt. But I want it to act like hot glue so that they can't just tip it over. Because as they're decorating, we always tip over a wall if we use royal icing. So this keeps it sturdy, but also edible. So there's my first half. And now that's all marked out. Again, these have a really bad habit of cracking like crazy. So just be gentle with them. Okay, so there's the front and back. The sides right now are the same length as the roof. We want the roof to be able to touch those graham crackers. Right now they're not touching. So the side pieces have to be shaved on both sides. Basically, the thickness of the cracker is how much we're going to shave off both sides. Since I marked it on the guide here, I'm just going to shave from one side. So when I place it there, I can see that I've shaved it now to those 2 lines there. Gotta do the other one now. Turn it straight. It's not very straight. So I have enough shaved off the two sides that now the roof line should grab. I've got two roof pieces. I've got a front and a back piece, and the perforated line on these is vertical, up and down. I've got two side crackers that are now, oops, try not to drop them. That doesn't help the crackage. I'm gonna prepare a chocolate version as well. The last thing I need is just a little square of some sort for the house to get glued onto. That way each person has their own little house and it's movable, and then they can paint or decorate the floor around the house, etc. So I just use the very boxes that the crackers come in, cereal boxes. So this one happens to be white inside. A lot of cereal boxes are like craft paper color. Doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. And I like to use this because it's a little bit hard, but not so hard. You can also use a thick piece of cardboard. Because my daughter has a birthday in October, I wanted to do haunted gingerbread house, but I know how hard it is to make gingerbread houses with children and royal icing and walls falling and crashing. So I thought, well, how can I make this a lot easier for 18 kids to all do together? So that's where this idea came from. We assembled 18 of these houses the night before, and then it was so easy to just put them on the table and the kids could decorate. Do I have everything? I hope so. Get my pot going here. I'm going to put it on medium heat. We don't want it too hot. Patience is the key. We'll just let that start to warm up. Get the pan a little bit warm before you put the sugar in. We'll get all of our ingredients ready. So we got two bases here. I got my two sides. Guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to shave these. Look at that. I said prep is important and I totally forgot. So let me shave these now. No, we got these. I just cracked it. Okay. This would also be really fun as like a mom's night where you get together and assemble them all together. So now we got the front and the back, the front and the back. We got the roof, the roof, the roof, the roof, and then two sides and two sides. So I just got a jar of sugar. This is a half cup, I think. Yeah, this is a half cup. And now the key is movement. I just use a spoon. The beginning takes forever, but then when you get closer to the end, it starts to happen really, really fast. So don't be discouraged if the beginning is like, you're like, nothing's happening. Gotta keep it moving. And if you're like me and you're a very impatient person by nature, you will be tempted to turn the heat up. Please do not. I had a bubbling, nasty mess because I turned the heat up too fast because I was getting impatient. Just be patient. It's coming. Two other really important notes when working with melted sugar. One is that it's really, really hot. I would not allow my kids to actually do the dipping into the sugar, because if they accidentally touch the sugar, they would really, really get burned. So be careful. Don't stick your hand in the melted sugar. And secondly, as we do this, we're going to be taking the sugar on the heat, off the heat, back and forth. But I'm going to leave that burner on like the whole time. So you don't want to have kids around that are going to touch the live burner. You can start to see in here that there's some things are coagulating just a little bit. We are getting so close, you can see that. And we're looking for the consistency of like a maple syrup. As soon as it hits that point, I'm going to remove it from the heat and start dipping the pieces. All right, you can see now it's like syrupy honey. I'm going to wait just one more second for those big crystals. Okay, that looks good to me. And you can kind of test it. It's kind of syrupy. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to take it away from the heat, but I'm going to leave the heat on. I'm just going to move it to the side here so I can start assembling, but I'm going to leave that burner still going. And anytime I feel like this is starting to not be as liquid, I'm going to move it right back to the burner just for 30 seconds or so, and then back away from the burner so it doesn't burn. So step number 1, we take a side piece, dip it in there, and stick it right on the thing. Try not to burn yourself because I do it all the time. Hold it just like hot glue for just a few seconds. Okay, and then you're going to bring over the other side piece. Dip, dip, dip. Don't burn yourself. Hold, hold, hold. And generally, it's pretty square but not perfect. We're going to take these legs and dip the legs and then add our secondary piece. Don't burn yourself. And at this point, I would usually sit it on the thing and just adjust it a little bit if it wasn't straight. Okay, so this is a tricky part. I need 2 hands. We're going to wet the 2 sides for the roof piece. A horizontal line is the roof. We don't want it vertical, otherwise it won't fit. Horizontal. So we're going to get these 2 pieces with sugar, just like this. Dip it down at an angle, just like that, and then hold that on there. And then the last piece, we're going to dip these sides now into the sugar. We got 4 sides of sugar. Make sure the line is horizontal, and we stick that right on. And there's 1. So now that my spoon is going through it, it's not as viscous anymore. You can see that it started coagulating. So I'm going back to the heat. There we go. There we go. I'll take it back off the heat here. Now for the second house. I'm going to try to do it faster. Let's see if I can. There we go. So the last little finishing touch is a chimney. If you want one, you don't have to have one. You can just take any little cracker. Generally that kind of shape right there is what we want. And then I'll just dip that in the sugar and stick it on there just like that. I don't know what shape that is. Trapezoid? Maybe that's a trapezoid. Something like that, a little shape in the slant. Get back into the sugar. Oh, I see some smoke on my sugar, so I probably left it too long. Put that chimney on there. But it's a good thing I am done. You might be looking at this pot going, oh my gosh, how the heck do I clean that? The sugar dissolves in water. So I just let it run under the water and my pan will basically clean itself. And you can see now it's actually getting kind of frothy because the sugar is burning. So don't do that to your sugar. And I put the sugar in the water before I glued them to this. So you would take this and dip this into the sugar one last time and stick it to the piece. Another thing I forgot is that I got Teddy Grahams. You can dip their little feet in sugar and glue them right in front of the house, which is super cute. So when in doubt, hot glue to the rescue. I just hot glued them to the paper and then I got these cute little teddy bears waiting right outside the house. And I'll just tell the kids not to eat the teddy bears. So see, you can fix almost any mistake you make. But I find this a really fun way for the kids to focus on the decorating instead of having to assemble the house themselves. We worked on version 1.0 today. There is a version 2.0 if you'd like to buy the template for this upgraded church style.